Heartland family, and welcome back to the place for all things Fleming Bartlett, the Mind Shift. If you've spent the last 18 seasons riding the highs and lows alongside Amy, Lou, Jack, and the whole crew, you know Heartland is more than just television, it's a piece of home. I'm your guide, Sim, and today we're discussing something that changes everything. Because after years of aching absence, endless fan hopes, and that heavy quiet that only true loss leaves, the impossible has become reality. You heard it right. Ty Borden is standing on Heartland soil again. Just let that settle. The man who captured our hearts, who is Amy's rock through every trial, the embodiment of hope against the odds, makes his return in the stunning premiere of Heartland Season 19, Episode 1. And this isn't some fleeting glimpse, this is a full return home. The moment Ty steps back onto that familiar ground, the very atmosphere changes. There's a tension, a profound weight, followed by an overwhelming wave of emotion that hits harder than a stampede across the Alberta foothills. The exchanged glances, the loaded silence, the inevitable tears, Amy's face the instant she lays eyes on him, Jack's voice thick with emotion as he speaks his name, Lindy's innocent gaze turning from confusion to dawning recognition. It's overwhelming. In this breakdown, we're examining that unforgettable premiere moment by moment, exploring the deep well of feelings, the narrative choices, and the crucial why now behind Ty's astonishing reappearance. We'll delve into what this signifies for Amy's long path of healing, how it reshapes Lindy's understanding of her world, and the ripple effects this will undoubtedly have on Lou, Jack, Tim, Georgie, and everyone connected to the ranch. Because Heartland has always been about more than just horses and beautiful landscapes. It's about the unbreakable bonds of family, the strength to endure, and the winding path back to those you love, even when logic dictates it's impossible. So find a comfortable spot, maybe grab a comforting drink, and definitely keep some tissues handy, because this isn't merely a plot twist, it's the rekindling of hope itself. This is the episode that will echo in conversations for years. Let's experience the return together. Before we get started, if you're joining us for the first time, or haven't yet, please hit that like button, share your immediate reaction to Ty's return in the comments, and subscribe to the Mind Shift for detailed Heartland analysis, fan theories, and emotional deep dives. If these characters feel like family to you, as they do to me, you won't want to miss what we have planned. Also, ensure that notification bell is activated so you're alerted the moment new content drops. With all that said, get comfortable and let's journey into the incredible return of Ty Borden and the complex emotional landscape that unfolds. To truly grasp the significance of Ty Borden's return, we have to remember the heartbreak of his departure. Back in Season 14, Ty wasn't just a character, he was the anchor for so much of Heartland's emotional weight. His journey from a troubled youth, haunted by a difficult past, to Amy's devoted partner was central. He arrived as an outsider, scarred but seeking redemption. Over the seasons, we watched Ty transform into a skilled vet, a loving husband and father, weaving himself into the very fabric of the Fleming Bartlett family. His bond with Amy was the soul of the show, a love built on shared healing, quiet understanding, and weathering life's storms together. They built a life, welcomed their daughter, and looked towards a shared future. So when Ty was tragically caught in the crossfire protecting not just a horse but Amy too, and later succumbed to complications, his death created a chasm, not only in Amy's world, but within the heart of every character and viewer. The shockwaves of his loss were felt throughout the entire Heartland community. As viewers, we felt it deeply. Like losing someone we knew, Amy's grief following Ty's death wasn't simple sadness. It was an all-consuming wave that threatened to pull her under. Her pain was palpable, raw, and utterly gut-wrenching. She lost more than her husband. She lost her confidant, her partner, the father to her child, and the future they had only just begun to fully realize. In the immediate aftermath, Amy retreated, constructing walls around her heart. Every forced smile felt like a betrayal, every dawn a painful reminder of his absence. She devoted herself to Lindy, channeling all her remaining strength and love into their daughter, trying desperately to be enough to fill the void Ty left. But the underlying ache never fully subsided. The ranch, once vibrant with shared dreams, felt quieter, heavier, yet Even under the crushing burden of grief, Amy persevered. Day after weary day, she carried on the work she and Ty had shared, healing horses, mending broken spirits, even as her own spirit struggled for peace. Heartland fans worldwide grieved alongside her. We witnessed her struggle, shared her tears, and like her, perhaps we clung to a sliver of impossible hope. Could he truly be gone? Was there some unseen twist, some miracle waiting? For years, fan theories and online discussions debated his fate, but realistically, most of us came to terms with the narrative. Ty was gone, and closure, however painful, was necessary. Just as it was for Amy, nothing, absolutely nothing could have prepared us for Season 19, Episode 1. The episode opens with a somber, almost reverent atmosphere. The familiar, sweeping vistas of Heartland fill the screen. The golden pastures, the iconic barn, the house brimming with decades of memories. Amy is seen walking the ranch grounds alone, the wind a near-constant companion, whispering like echoes from happier times. Her expression reveals the quiet toll of carrying grief for so long. She's weary but unbroken, still fighting. She's kept the ranch running. She's been both mother and father to Lindy. She has remained strong, but the resilience is wearing thin. Then the familiar calm begins to feel charged. An unusual tension hangs in the air, like the electric stillness before a thunderstorm. Lou discovers a cryptic note left for Amy. No sender, no explanation. Jack, the family's steadfast anchor, seems unusually distant, preoccupied. Even Tim, typically transparent with his feelings, carries an uncharacteristic quietness. Something significant is brewing, something unspoken hangs heavy, and then it materializes. A sound, a low, familiar engine growl, the impossible sight of his truck turning onto the Heartland drive. Amy halts. She turns slowly. At first, dismissal flickers across her face, grief playing tricks again, but there it is, the old pickup, layered with dust and time, yet undeniably his. Her breath catches sharply. She stares, rooted to the spot. The truck door creaks open, and Ty Borden emerges. The world seems to freeze. The ambient sounds fade. There's only stillness, the kind that squeezes your chest and makes breathing difficult. The camera holds, refusing to break the tension. Time stretches thin as Amy stands frozen, gazing across the yard at the one face she believed she'd never see again in this lifetime. Ty Borden. He looks changed, older, certainly, but it's more than just years. His features carry the imprint of hardship, of unspoken burdens, of time lived away from everything he loved. His eyes, once alight with youthful hope, now hold a deeper complexity, a mix of sorrow and resilience. But despite the passage of time, despite the veil of mystery, it is unequivocally him, not a memory, not a dream, not an apparition. Ty is alive, standing mere yards from the woman who has cherished his memory every day since his supposed death. Amy doesn't collapse, she doesn't run to him. Not immediately. Her system is overloaded, shock holds her captive, her entire perception of reality is fracturing. She blinks, her mind struggling to accept the impossible sight. Her voice, when she finally manages to form his name, is a fragile whisper, almost carried away by the wind. Ty. And with that single word, the universe seems to recalibrate. The ranch, the sky, everything tilts on its axis, trying to accommodate this staggering, unbelievable truth. Then the explanation begins to unfold, rewriting everything. Ty Borden wasn't claimed by a random act of violence or a medical tragedy. He wasn't gone. He was hidden. Years prior, after witnessing a serious crime involving a dangerous underground network connected tangentially to his past, Ty was compelled to enter witness protection. To shield Amy and Lindy from retaliation, he had to vanish. No explanations, no farewells, only an abrupt and agonizing silence. Within that silence, he existed as a ghost, watching his family from an impossible distance, yearning for the life he was forced to leave behind. Until the threat finally neutralized, the case resolved, the danger abated, and Ty could finally come home. But home is irrevocably changed. Amy is drowning in a maelstrom of conflicting emotions, relief, grief, anger, confusion, disbelief. Later, she seeks solace in the familiar rhythm of the barn, grooming a horse, her hands unsteady, her thoughts racing, replaying years of assumed widowhood. The tears start quietly, then become a torrent, a dam of suppressed sorrow. Finally bursting, Jack finds her there. He doesn't push, doesn't pry, he simply stands beside her, his presence a quiet acknowledgement of the immense weight she carries. When he finally speaks, his voice holds the gentle strength only Jack Bartlett possesses. "It's all right to feel it all, Amy. You don't need to carry it alone anymore." And just like that, the carefully constructed walls crumble. She leans into the truth she hasn't allowed herself to fully face. "I thought he was gone, Jack," she cries, the words torn from her. "I mourned him. I learned to live without him. I raised Lindy telling her stories. I didn't know it wasn't the whole truth." It's a release years in the make, not just about the loss itself but about the strength demanded of her. The nights spent comforting Lindy while hiding her own tears, the enduring love she kept alive even believing he was lost forever. This moment, painful and profoundly moving, sets the emotional tone for Heartland's new direction. It alters the entire landscape. Later that evening, the conversation they both dreaded and needed begins. Amy and Ty sit opposite each other, the space between them filled with unspoken years. It's not a reunion of lovers rushing back together, but two souls surveying the wreckage of a life violently interrupted. There are no grand declarations, no easy resolutions, just raw honesty. Amy speaks of Lindy, of the milestones, first words, birthdays, scraped knees needing a father's comfort, the constant aching void at the family table. She lays it bare, not as punishment, but as the undeniable cost of his silence. Ty absorbs her words, tears tracing paths down his face, his own heart fracturing with every shared memory he wasn't there for. He confesses the hardest part of hiding wasn't the constant fear, but the profound absence, the not knowing if they were safe, missing Lindy's childhood, being powerless when they needed him most. "I never stopped loving you, Amy," he says, his voice thick with unshed tears. "But keeping you safe meant losing you." Amy doesn't offer immediate forgiveness. This isn't a simple fix. Healing takes time, rebuilding trust even long, but a subtle shift occurs in her gaze, a flicker of deep-seated understanding, a recognition that the love they shared, the real, hard-won love, might just be strong enough to survive even, and perhaps buried beneath the pain and the lost years, their story has another chapter waiting to be written. And then arguably one of the most potent scenes, Lindy's reaction. For her entire life, Lindy's father has been a collection of stories, photographs and shared memories from Amy, Jack and Lou. She knows his smile, his legendary patience with horses, his gentle nature, but he's been a beloved myth, not a physical presence. Until this moment, Ty kneels down slowly, meeting her gaze. There's a long, breathless pause. Lindy looks at this man, her expression a mixture of curiosity and uncertainty. Then tentatively, she reaches out one small hand, gently touching his face, perhaps comparing it to the photos she knows so well. "Dad?" The question hangs in the air, simple yet earth-shattering. In that instant, a palpable weight lifts from the atmosphere. Ty's composure breaks, his voice choked with emotion, as he confirms, "Yeah, Peanut, it's me. This isn't just a me. It's the mending of a broken circle, the rebirth of possibility, and undeniable proof that sometimes, love finds a way back against all odds." When Lindy first spots Ty, the scene is deliberately quiet. She's near the paddock, engrossed in watching the horses, a moment of childhood peace, juxtaposed against the emotional upheaval about to occur. Amy watches from a slight distance, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and fear. She knows this encounter will redefine Lindy's world, but the exact shape of that reaction is unknown. Lindy glances up, and there he is, standing near the barn entrance. He looks older, weathered by experiences she can't fathom, but the essence of him, the man from the stories, is there. For a heartbeat, her young mind struggles to process, it's him, but here, she blinks, trying to reconcile the image with the narrative she's always known. Then a soft, questioning word escapes her lips. "Dad?" It's barely audible, yet it resonates across the yard. Ty takes a hesitant step closer, his own voice thick with unshed tears, as he whispers her name, Lindy. In that instant, Lindy's face transforms. Disbelief melts into radiant joy. Instinct takes over, and she sprints across the grass, launching herself into Ty's waiting arms, holding onto him as if anchoring herself in this new reality. The reunion is stark in its simplicity, yet overflowing with unspoken love and relief. Lindy's immediate acceptance, her pure uncomplicated joy at having her father physically present, is overwhelming. There's no questioning, no anger in her eyes, just love, innate trust, and the wonder of finally meeting this near-mythical figure. This brief but powerful interaction is the catalyst for healing. It signals a new beginning. Ty, in turn, looks utterly overwhelmed, holding the daughter he was forced to leave, the child whose life unfolded while he watched helplessly from afar. His hands shake slightly as he holds her close, perhaps questioning if he deserves this miraculous second chance. He hugs her tightly, murmuring how much he loves her, how he missed her every single day. Lindy's innocent embrace becomes a bridge, not just for her, but for Amy too. It's as if her simple acceptance allows some of the Lindy, the world momentarily fractured, feels whole again. She doesn't grasp the lost years, she only knows her father is here now. When Ty returns, a crucial reaction is Jack's, the unwavering patriarch of Heartland. Jack Bartlett has weathered his own storms of loss, reconciliation, and the complexities that bind families together. He knows the weight of grief, having lost his own son, Peter, years ago, and navigated difficult dynamics, including those involving the Borden family history. Above all, Jack embodies a deep understanding of life's hardships, the strength of family, and the difficult path of forgiveness. Jack's initial response to Ty's reappearance is measured, as it should be. Years have passed under the assumption of Ty's death. Immense pain and unanswered questions linger, yet the moment Jack sees Ty, alive, standing on Heartland soil, the protective walls around his own heart begin to show fissures. In a quiet, significant moment later in the barn, the place of so many important Heartland conversations, Jack and Ty speak for the first time. It's not overtly dramatic, but charged with unspoken history. Jack doesn't immediately pull Ty into an embrace. He stands straight, his gaze steady, tinged with a deep, knowing sorrow. "Been a long time, Ty," Jack states simply. His voice is quiet but carries the resonance of a lifetime of experience. Ty, standing respectfully, doesn't offer justification. He understands no explanation can erase the lost years or mend the hurt instantly, but his posture, his gaze meeting Jack's, conveys a readiness to earn back trust, not just for himself, but for Amy, for Lindy, for the entire family. "I'm sorry, Jack, for not being here," Ty says, his voice low but clear. "Leaving wasn't my choice." Jack, in his characteristic way, doesn't respond with words immediately. Instead, he walks closer and rests a firm, grounding hand on Ty's shoulder. It's a simple gesture, yet it speaks volume. Jack, a man of action, more than effusive words, conveys understanding. He doesn't need a lengthy explanation. He senses the truth of Ty's ordeal. Jack knows forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It won't happen overnight. But in this moment, looking at the man Ty has become, he recognizes the shared suffering. There's a path towards reconciliation, and it begins here, with this quiet, powerful gesture of acknowledgement and tentative acceptance. Now, let's turn to Heartland's steady rock, the pragmatic, fiercely protective older sister, who has consistently held the family together through financial crises, emotional turmoil, and every unexpected turn. Lou has been the organizer, the problem solver, the one who managed the practicalities, while often suppressing her own grief. She balanced the books, stepped up when Amy was adrift in sorrow, and kept the ranch functioning, often at personal cost. Lou's reaction to Ty's return is complex and deeply authentic. Unlike Amy's immediate shock, Lou experiences a cascade of emotions: relief, sharp concern, lingering skepticism, and a cautious, guarded hope. Fundamentally, Lou desires Amy's happiness above all else. She has witnessed years of her sister's quiet suffering, watching her pour everything into Lindy, while masking an unhealed wound. So yes, relief floods her. Seeing Ty alive is a miracle, but Lou is